Hey, this is Sky, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about how we think, and I don't just mean existentially, philosophically. I mean that inner voice, that shit that runs in your head all day. Sometimes that can really fuck you up. And if you've gone through the stuff I've gone through, depression, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, alcoholism, drug addiction, PTSD, fuck, the list goes on. I've suffered from all that shit. And I have to manage this stuff every day. And one of the keys, the most important things, is to be able to stay on top and check that fucking voice in my head, steer this fucking spaceship that I'm living in, to steer it right, and to not feel like a victim being bounced around, by society, and to be able to feel like I have some sort of control over myself. And that's really important in order to be able to manage my day. But it's also important to be positive. Positivity is not just some bullshit that you hear on these motivational speeches on YouTube and from these idiots that are trying to make money off you. I'm not trying to make money off you. I'm just giving you the real deal. It is important to be positive, to have a positive mental attitude. You can do a test yourself and squeeze a scale. You want to get a digital scale that you go and weigh yourself on, and squeeze that shit and think positively, think loving thoughts. Squeeze it as hard as you can for a couple minutes, so it for long enough for it to register, and then squeeze it and think negative thoughts, think angry thoughts, think sorry thoughts, think how you suck, how that chick dumped you because you're a loser. Think those things and try to squeeze it and see if you can and get that same level. It's scientific. We can make ourselves sick by thinking negatively. Well, you can literally think your way into a depression, think your way into health problems, think your way into horrible scenarios in your life, because if you're thinking negatively, your decision-making process on other things, when you need to be able to make good decisions, positive decisions that can help you, decisions that may affect things that you need to solve in your life, you're not steering your ship right. So one of the tricks that I've learned from myself, and I tell this as a mantra to myself because I like to talk to myself, but I figure, if I'm going to have this mind chatter that runs all day, I need to take control of it. So I catch myself when I'm thinking negatively, and I tell myself, do not think thoughts that make you feel weak. And that's important to me. I don't want to feel weak. And the reason why is not because I want to walk around like some kind of badass tough guy, but when I feel strong, when I feel like a strong human being, I make my best decisions. My brain is firing because it's like a little machine firing, like a computer firing synapses and circuits, and you have neurological pathways, circuitry pathways that are working. That shit is all working. That computer is firing at its best when I'm at my strongest. I can make my best decisions in life, in love, in business, whatever I'm doing. Even creatively, I write books and do creative stuff. I can do everything the best. I operate the best when I feel strong. So I try not to allow myself to feel weak. Now, when I stop my thought process on a weak thought, a lot of it times can happen with memories, but sometimes it can happen going into a scenario if you're feeling nervous or anxious or feeling lesser than or whatever. I don't allow any type of weak thought to make me feel weak. I stop it right there. Now, that doesn't mean I hide from scenarios. I don't face fears. I don't confront situations. That doesn't mean that. I'm not talking about that. I still go through those things. I'll still face my fears. I still introspect and look at myself, but I don't do it from a spot of weakness. I try to never do it from a spot of weakness. I don't go into scenarios, confrontations, events, or anything that might make me nervous, that I have anxiety around. I could list all kinds of things. I don't go into those in a state of weakness. I go into those in a state of power and think about what I'm going to do if that's what it needs to do in this scenario where I need to plot and scheme. I don't plot and scheme from a position of weakness. I plot and scheme from a position of power. And that way I can make the best decisions. So it's important to stay on top of that inner voice, to squash the thoughts that make you feel weak, to just shut them down right away, like a drawbridge going up. And little guy up there being like, sorry, those thoughts are trying to get across, right across, and that bridge is just like, nope, nope, nope. And it could be like on that Monty Python where the guy's just like, fuck you, and the bastard French guy up in the castle. Whatever you need to do in order to stop that shit, it's important to. And it doesn't mean to run away from your thoughts. You're not just saying, no, I'm not going to think about this anymore. You need to be able to think about the various things in your life, but you never want to do it from a position of weakness. So that's the message for the day. Think about stuff from a position of power. Stop all the thoughts that make you feel weak, and have a good day.